there's a league called Major League Pickleball. It's basically the IPL of pickleball. You have people like LeBron James, Tom Brady, Nick Kyrgios, Gary Vee, to name a few, who have kind of invested in the game. You have Drake, Michael B. Jordan. So I'm talking like the biggest athletes, the biggest celebrities, and some of the biggest business owners in the US. There is a study by Dr. Amen. He is a psychologist and a psychiatrist. And there's a study that proves that people who play racket sports, so pickleball comes right under that, they tend to live 10 to 15 years longer. And then there's also like an appearance fee or a guaranteed salary, which is about 1,000 Australian dollars. That adds up to about 40,000 rupees. And that's even if you're coming last place, like you're guaranteed to make that money. And then it goes all the way up to $5,000 Australian for first place, which is about 2.5 lakh.
Hi guys, welcome to Squeeze Sessions with Galgal. Today we have Yuvraj Ruia with us. He is a professional pickleball player. He's the co-owner of Global Sports, which is trying its level best to bring pickleball to India on a global height. And welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having me. It's really exciting. This is my first podcast that I'm shooting, and we're talking about pickleball, which is my all-time favorite thing. So really excited to be here.
So I have a question. When did pickleball become your all-time favorite thing? Because like we are seeing pickleball everywhere, especially in the tier 1 areas of Bombay or India rather.
Yep.
But when you say it became your favorite thing, was it like a point in your life where you thought that, okay, this is something that I want to pursue professionally?
Yeah, so that's actually a really fun story. I found pickleball back in 2019 when I used to live in the States. So I was in Arizona with my best friend. I was a big golfer at the time. So I used to play golf at Willingdon in Bombay, and just a fun game to get out, be in nature, and kind of hit the ball around. So I was on a golfing trip with my buddy, and we stumbled upon some pickleball courts. And growing up in India, you know, we played all racket sports like badminton, tennis, table tennis. So we're like, oh, this looks fun, let me try it. And I kid you guys not, like from the moment I picked up the paddle, I was like, oh my God, what is this game? I was absolutely in love with the game. It changed my life from the first time I hit the ball. And you know, honestly, pretty much since then, I haven't played much golf. I just completely transitioned into pickleball. And I've played pickle pretty much every day ever since. Now it's been 5 years. So
Wow.
the game changed my life from the moment I picked up the paddle, which has been really
That's
cool.
crazy.
And how was the transition? So I'm guessing you were playing for fun back then in
Yeah,
college. And
yeah. So growing up, like I used to play like some state level table tennis, like play in tournaments and stuff whenever I can, when I was like 12, 13, 14 years old. So pickleball is a game, is a lot of touch involved in the game. It's a combination of badminton, table tennis, and tennis. So honestly, for me, the transition was quite easy. Like I was able to like play good competitive games relatively soon. And I am a really competitive person also. So that just drove me to kind of get better quicker and compete more. So, but honestly, the transition just for anyone as well, like for people at home who want to know, like even if you have no racket sports background and if you haven't been an athlete or like played any sports, like pickleball is really easy to play and it's suitable for people of all ages.
So it's age agnostic. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You think that's why it's gaining so much popularity right now? Because I think people who have never picked up a racket sport will not really want to start off with tennis, because I think that's the most intense racket sport out there, right?
100%.
So I feel because it's low intensity, I think someone who's like a 40, 45, 50-year-old also is feeling like, you know what, I can just start my fitness journey with pickleball.
Absolutely, you got it right. So pickleball, it's really popular in like the 40, 50, 60 plus age group. As you mentioned, it's just tougher for those people. Maybe they have like lesser mobility. So it's tougher for them to play sports like tennis and badminton, which require quicker movements and maybe more court coverage. But with pickleball, since the ball is so light, the paddle is so light, and it's predominantly played as doubles, you don't have to cover the court that much. And therefore it's easy for people to play of all ages. And then the other aspect of pickleball is there's a big social element to pickleball. So since I mentioned it's played as doubles, the court really isn't that big. So you usually have multiple courts kind of stacked with each other. So what happens is you have multiple people coming together and you just rotate partners, you rotate opponents, and you get to meet new people and make some friends along the way as well.
You're a professional player for Sea Surge. How did that happen?
Yeah, so Sea
Let's
Surge.
tell the audience what is Sea Surge and the whole MLP tournament. that
Yeah,
it's part of.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's a league called Major League Pickleball. It's basically the IPL of pickleball, and it started in the US. Actually, cool story. They have some amazing investors on board now. You have people like LeBron James, Tom Brady, Nick Kyrgios, Gary Vee, to name a few, who have kind of invested in the game. You have Drake, Michael B. Jordan. So I'm talking like the biggest athletes, the biggest celebrities, and some of the biggest business owners in the US all have invested in different teams in the US. And that Major League Pickleball MLP franchise, it first branched out to Australia. So that's where Team Sea Surge exists. So I played in the Australia MLP. And yep, the season just ended, season 1. It was a fantastic experience. I got to go to Sydney, Auckland, and Brisbane for one event each. And it was just such a treat to be competing alongside other teammates and being in that whole team atmosphere.
How did you get this opportunity? Were there trials or?
Yeah, so there was a audition.
Okay.
You have to kind of create a video explaining who you are as a person, talk a little bit about yourself and your journey in pickleball, and then you post some of your highlight videos just to showcase your talent. But I think the main thing that helps you get drafted into a league like this is your past results.
Okay.
So over the past 1 year, I've competed kind of all over the world. So I've played tournaments in the US, all over India. I'm talking Mumbai, Goa, Ahmedabad, Delhi, Pune, and then all over Asia as well. I took part in tournaments in Bali and China. So the fact that I did really well in those tournaments, I pretty much just made every final. So I was either coming first place or second place. That, along with just my personality and kind of promoting the game and promoting myself as an athlete, put me in a position to be able to play in Major League Pickleball.
Superb.
No, that's pretty cool. But when you're drafted in the team,
Yeah.
what's that life like? Like if you're like a professional pickleball player playing in Australia or the US, like what's that life?
First, let me just tell you about the experience that I had kind of when I got drafted. So I was in Palm Springs, California for another big tournament. I was competing in it and watching all the pros play. And the live stream was happening at about 1 a.m. in the morning. So I'm sitting on YouTube. That's where the live stream's taking place. And it's so competitive. You have like some of the best players in the world applied for this draft. And there are only 36 spots left to be drafted. Okay, there are only 36 spots left in the MLP. And as each spot is going on, I'm just getting more and more nervous. I wanted it so bad, but it wasn't guaranteed and everything. And I kid you not, I got drafted in, I was the last pick in the second round. So I was the 24th pick. And the moment they called my name out, I've never experienced so much joy in my life. I mean, I was on top of the moon. I literally ran around my hotel room in celebration. Like, I called my girlfriend, I called my parents, and I started to tear up just because of how big it was. And that moment when I realized that, I've grinded so hard for so many years, and for so long it didn't really count for anything. For a long time I didn't know if I was going pro. I was just doing it because I enjoyed it. And then for all that effort to translate into getting into the big leagues, like it was just a fantastic moment in time. It was just a fantastic experience to play in the Major League Pickleball. So yeah.
I'm sure your words cannot really translate what you felt at that moment,
Yeah,
right? Because like as you rightly said, like that's so much effort that you had to put in, and probably even skepticism at that point where people must be asking you like, why are you playing this sport? Like what is this
100%.
pickleball?
100%. I got that a lot. Like as I mentioned, I used to play pretty much pickleball all day, every day, and now I dial it back. Being a pro, I'm more focused on when I'm getting on court. But when I first started, I was just addicted to the game and trying to play with anyone and everyone for as long as I can. So definitely the questions creeped in from like family and friends being like, hey, but like, what are you doing if you're spending so much time playing pickleball? Like, when are you going to work? When are you going to do other things? Why aren't you coming to this party and stuff like that? But in my heart, I always knew like, this is what feels right to me. Like being on court, it's something that I love. It makes me the most happy, and I do believe that something good can come out of this from a career standpoint. And then for it to all finally kind of come together, that Major League Pickleball moment and that draft was it was big for me. So really exciting.
Great. So when you're there playing in those leagues, what does the team sponsor? Like, do they like sponsor your kits, your equipment? How much do you get paid? Like,
Yeah.
what's the
Let
money
me
like?
take you through what it's like to play in Major League Pickleball Australia. So, as you mentioned, the team completely or the league completely takes care of all your kits. So, we had multiple jerseys with our names on the back. They take care of your food and everything while you're there. You have physios on site. So, if your body's not feeling 100%, or if you need some recovery work, they work on that for you. And then there's also like an appearance fee or a guaranteed salary, which is about 1,000 Australian dollars. That adds up to about 40,000 rupees. And that's even if you're coming last place, like you're guaranteed to make that money. And then it goes all the way up to $5,000 Australian for first place, which is about 2.5 lakhs. And then everything in between. So second place is $3,000, about 1.8 lakhs, and then you keep going all the way down to the 40,000 rupees.
Got it.
So, but there are also other opportunities to play. Like they have other tournaments while Major League Pickleball is going on as well, and there's cash prize for that as well. So if you end up doing well in these tournaments, you can be coming home with a serious chunk of change. Yeah.
Plus endorsements, like if you play really well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in any pro sport, including pickleball, the better you do, the higher likelihood you have of bringing in good sponsorship money. And I would say that is the biggest way that I think all athletes are kind of funding their pro journey, especially in pickleball, where, as I mentioned, there is a cash prize, but it's not so high. It might not be enough for people to sustain their lifestyle just on the appearance fees and the cash prize. But that's where the endorsements and the sponsorships really come in and take care of you. And that's why you're incentivized to play at your highest level.
Right.
Yuvi, just brief me on two things, right?
Yeah.
How long does the tournament go on for? Like how many months?
So
are you
the Major League
participating?
Pickleball, like season 1 was 3 events.
Okay.
It was Sydney in February, Auckland in end March, early April, and then Brisbane just happened in May end.
So
there's
3
about
months,
5 to
5
6
months.
weeks gap, and it happens over 3 days.
Okay.
Where you're competing in Major League Pickleball for about 3 to 4 hours every day. But as I mentioned, there are other tournaments taking place in the morning as well. So that's usually the structure of the events.
What I was trying to ask is, are you allowed to play in other tournaments?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not exclusive.
I'd say, no, it's not exclusive at all. And I'd say the most of us who took part in MLP Australia, we were grinding and playing other tournaments in that time in between.
Yeah.
So for example, like after Auckland, I hopped on a flight and I went straight to LA. Stayed there with a few friends, went to Santa Barbara, did some training over there with one of the top coaches, and then I flew straight to Houston to play in another tournament. So I'd say most of us who are on the professional pickleball journey, we're playing at least one pro event each month, if not more.
More. So more events means more money. Yeah.
Not necessarily, honestly. Like
Okay.
if you are a top player who is having good results, getting on the podium, then I would say it definitely translates to more money, because not only are you picking up the cash prize from the tournament, but you're getting in the eyes of all the sponsors and they will offer you better deals and contracts. However, if you're not doing that well, say you're bottom tier, you're coming last, or not making deep runs in tournaments, then you're actually burning money, because as you all know, it's expensive to travel. If you're trying to get to Bali, China, US, Europe, Australia, all these, the flights cost money, the hotels cost money. And if you are not finishing well in these tournaments, you're not picking up any cash prize, and the sponsors aren't really going to be paying you any good money. So it's expensive and it's a cash burn for the players who aren't performing right now. But it's definitely a lot of money to be made if you are top talent and doing well in these tournaments.
You know what comes to my mind? Like, usually like sports like football and all, you have a lifespan till the age of 40 max, unless you're like a Cristiano Ronaldo, which you're still performing at 40. But usually after 30, 32, 33, you start dipping. When you're playing pickleball, because it's age agnostic, you can start your career really young, get really good at it, and then sustain your career for at least like 50 years. Like
Absolutely.
that's quite I was thinking of, isn't it like similar to golf in that way, where you can pick it up really early and then like play till you're very old?
The barrier to entry in pickleball, even today in 2024, is not as high as in other sports. Definitely not like a cricket or football where it's super competitive. And now that more money is coming into the game, it is getting tougher to enter. However, as you mentioned, people who pick it up at a young age, they have a very long lifespan in the game. There's a very cool story. There's a gentleman named Matt Wright. He's a pro player in the USA and he's 47 years old right now and he's still a top 5 men's doubles player. So what that means is he's 47 years old, but he's still kicking butt of all the 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, which you'll rarely see in any other sport. Maybe golf has that, but I don't think there's any other sport out there where you'll see a 40-year-old or 45-year-old man or woman kind of beating up on the youngsters out there. So it's really cool to see. And in terms of making money when you're 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus in pickleball, my company, Global Sports, we have a really interesting tournament structure where not only do we have the open bracket, which is where the professionals play, but we also have a 35 plus open and a 50 plus open where you can win money if you come first, second, or third as well. So that incentivizes people who are older to still pursue their professional dreams in pickleball and make some money doing it.
Very cool.
We spoke about the West, right, and how you're traveling across the world. Please tell me more about Global Sports and what is the core mission that you guys are solving?
Yeah, absolutely. So I invested in Global Sports about 6 months ago. So end of 2023, early 2024. And the mission with Global Sports is everything pickleball. So what that means is we're trying to grow pickleball in India in every way possible. And the way we do that is opening up more courts, distributing equipment, offering coaching services, and our main bread and butter, what Global Sports is really known for, is the massive tournaments that we put together in India. So through all these different ventures, that's how we're looking to grow pickleball all over India and make it accessible for people of all ages and backgrounds.
And which are the major markets you would say for global sports? Like which cities?
So Mumbai by far is our biggest market. All our partners are based out of Mumbai and all our big ventures, including our major facilities and our major tournaments take place in Mumbai. However, we're seeing a lot of traction in the Ahmedabad and Gujarat area as well. So we've done some strategic tie-ups with pickleball ambassadors in Ahmedabad, and you're seeing a lot of more courts and a lot of more tournaments happening over there as well. So I'd say these are the two hotspots for pickleball in India right now, but you're going to see it start to blow up in Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, and a lot of cities as well as time goes by.
So what I hear is like you are active in a lot of tier 1 areas in India. Are there any challenges while you're expanding in tier 2 areas?
Yes, there are a few challenges. I'd say the biggest challenge with pickleball right now is still a lack of awareness. And that is what Global Sports is mainly trying to tackle through our efforts in social media and kind of advertising and promoting the game. And that's where it gets trickier in tier 2 cities. So in a Mumbai, Delhi, in the tier 1 cities, everyone is more aware. They might be more well-traveled and therefore they have more global exposure, having heard of pickleball. However, in tier 2 cities, you really have to educate the people over there kind of about what pickleball is. And I think the more core sports like a cricket or a badminton, the people over there, they connect so much more with that. So that's definitely a big problem. And then the second one being infrastructure. So pickleball, it is not as expensive as other sports like tennis, paddle, or a football to kind of set up. However, there is still some investment needed. And since there is no infrastructure in these tier 2 cities, that along with the lack of knowledge or awareness gets tricky to set pickleball up. But it's definitely part of our mission. We're just going about it systematically. So kind of introduce pickleball into all the big cities first and then go after the tier 2 cities once it's more established in India.
I have two questions for you. One, are you trying to make it an aspirational sport? Because if you want to like penetrate to the tier 2 and tier 3 areas, usually what tactic a lot of companies do or like campaigns they focus on is making a product aspirational. So they want to like replicate that thing in their own hometown. Second, we spoke about infrastructure. What is like the cost? If you can drop some numbers on like what it takes to like set up a pickleball court or like a paddle court, just for comparison.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me go ahead and answer that first. So, talking numbers in pickleball and expenses, pickleball, I would say, still a relatively easy sport to set up. So, the cost to set up one court can range anywhere from 3 to 5 lakhs. And this is for top of the line best pickleball court that you're looking for. What's also cool is that if you're not looking to spend money and you have existing tennis courts, you can make tennis courts multi-purpose courts by just taping lines on them and setting up a temporary net. The temp nets will cost you like 30,000-40,000 rupees. So then that becomes a very inexpensive way of playing pickleball, and you can still be playing tennis on those courts as well, versus another sport like paddle, which has really taken off in South Bombay.
Yeah.
And the reason it's only taken off in the South Bombay market is because it's so bloody expensive to set up. So I'm saying the cheapest paddle court is about 15-16 lakhs, but the average paddle court goes about 20 to 22 lakhs. And therefore, it's much tougher to break even and kind of get your money back on the investment. Also, the space needed is a little bit more for paddle. As I mentioned, you can fit 4 pickleball courts on one tennis court, or a pickleball court is the size of a badminton court. It's the exact same size. So what you see is in some buildings, you'll also see the badminton court kind of being converted to a pickleball court. Again, you just throw on the temporary net, you tape one more line on, and you're good to play some pickleball. So the barrier to enter pickleball from an investment point of view is still easier compared to most other sports in the market today.
And positioning the pickleball sport as aspiration, is that what you're trying?
Not really. I would say that, us at Global Sports, of course, we run this company for profit and we're looking to create value for ourselves. However, we do genuinely care about pickleball and we care about our fellow Indians, and we want to make this sport accessible to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
And therefore, we've set up our facilities in all kinds of locations. So we have pickleball courts ranging from Lower Parel all the way to Borivali. And we have different standards or different quality of pickleball courts. So the Lower Parel pickleball courts, they're in Peninsula Corporate Park, so really prestigious corporate area. You have good parking, you have a Starbucks. So of course those courts are a little bit more expensive. But then the courts that we have in Goregaon and Juhu and Borivali, they're priced according to the area and according to the setup, making it more accessible for people who are price sensitive. So our mission is definitely to not only make pickleball accessible to all amateurs, but if there are people out there with aspirations of having a pro career in pickleball and they have the talent and the dedication to show for it, Global Sports does sponsor athletes looking to play pickleball, and we have about 10 to 12 sponsored players on our roster right now.
Amazing.
And you also have an academy, right?
Yes, that's right. So we've tied up with a few other professional pickleball players who run an academy to train our fellow professional players and then also to train all the amateur players. So we offer a variety of coaching services, predominantly in the Bandra and Juhu area. So if people are looking for coaching all the way from the basic beginner level all the way to the pro level, we do offer those services.
And what's the learning curve like from someone who's starting off pickleball, say like an 18 to 25-year-old individual? I know it's very subjective, but like an average time frame.
You can be playing a fun game of pickleball within 1 hour of learning the game. And
Just 1 hour.
Just 1 hour, honestly. And I have gotten on the court multiple times to host clinics for friends and family and people that I know. One of the biggest things that motivates me is bringing the people that I know in my society and who I've grown up with into pickleball, which is the thing that I love the most. So when I've been on the court teaching them, whether it's been my own nani nana or my parents or just my friends who have never really played any racket sports or any sport at all, we put the paddle in their hand. I hit a few balls with them and kind of teach them the rules. And within 45 minutes of being on the court, they can already hit the ball. They're having a great time out there. And I think that's really what pickleball is about. It's just about getting on the court, having a good time, getting some movement, and
Yeah.
meeting new people and having fun with friends. So that's really the essence of pickleball, and it's very easy to do for everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys are listening at home, like pickleball, super addictive, really easy to play. You don't need any sporting background. You don't need to be the most athletic person. The whole point is just to get out there and have a good time, and all of y'all can do that.
And it's beautiful what you just mentioned, like you playing with your nani nana. I don't think there's any other sport where you can be playing with your parents and your grandparents at the same time, and everyone can be having fun. Where I think this is a great initiative by you guys at Global Sports to like spread this thing around, because Indians, like by default, are very family centric, right? And what better way to spend time with your family than to play a sport like where you're just trying to compete with each other in a fun way. It's beautiful.
Absolutely, I totally agree. So, a lot of research in the market shows that in terms of how people want to spend their time today in 2024, is that they're looking for experiential activities. So, what that means is you have less people going into the cinema or just sitting at home and wanting to watch TV with their significant other or their family. People are looking to go out and have a new experience. And for people of different ages, as I mentioned, like you with your parents or your grandparents, to go out there and actually get some movement, play a sport together, maybe even get a little competitive and to have fun. I think it's an amazing experience, and not too many other sports are able to offer that. I have a really cool story about that as well. So, the number one women's doubles team in professional pickleball for about 5 years was a 40-year-old lady playing with her 13-year-old daughter.
What are you
And
saying?
they were the number one pickleball doubles team for the longest time. Unfortunately, their names were Lee Waters and Annalie Waters. Unfortunately, Lee Waters suffered a knee injury, which kind of put her out of the professional pickleball game at age 42. But her daughter is still the reigning champion at 17 years now. And they had about a 4-year run where they beat all the top women's doubles team, and they were the number one pickleball women's doubles champions. So
That's amazing.
I don't think you get to see that in any other sport, a mother-daughter duo dominating a professional sport.
Yeah, and especially after COVID, I think a lot of people have realized the importance of health, right? Even because you play sports to a certain age, and after that you start chasing the paycheck, right? And then you forget about your health, and in that process, like you compromise your health. And in this case, where anyone, like for example, a young kid picks up pickleball and they want to play, they get good at it, and now they can take their father or their mom out there on the court and they can just play with them, and that can probably push the parents into having their own sort of like small scenes with their friends, which creates a great ripple effect.
100%. I think anyone playing not just pickleball but any sports, definitely they automatically become more health conscious, because you need to move your body when you're on the court. If you're competing, you need to be mentally strong as well. So you naturally start to take better care of your health, or you start to form better habits. And as you mentioned, that translates within the household environment, or that translates with your friends and family, and you are able to spread positive habits to the people around you as well, which is amazing.
Yeah.
How do you take care of yourself, right? Like what goes behind the professional life in terms of health, wellness, diet, workouts?
Yeah, I'm happy to
Yeah.
share my routine with you guys. So I basically try to prioritize all the key components that helps a human being take care of their health. So let's start off with sleep, I'd
Yeah.
say, which is one of the most important criterias of anyone's health and wellness. So I try to sleep about 7 to 8 hours every night, since sleep is the number one factor to help with somebody's recovery.
Yeah.
And I try to sleep earlier on in the night as well. So I sleep at about 10 to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
and I'll wake up anywhere between 5:30 to 7:30 a.m. And it's not just how much sleep that you get, but it's the quality of sleep that you're getting as well. And the best quality of sleep you get is in those hours between 9 p.m. to about 7 a.m. So I try to get my sleep in those hours. Next is the nutrition, which is so important. So I don't eat any junk food anymore. So no Lay's, no Coca-Cola, no alcohol, no chocolates and that kind of stuff. And then I try to eat a high protein diet along with a lot of like fruits and nuts and vegetables. I struggle with the vegetable part, but I try to do my best. Then next comes the physical training.
Yeah.
So I'm in the gym for about 90 minutes to 2 hours every day.
Every
And
day?
every day, 6 days a week, rather, 6 days a week. And that'll consist of a combination of strength training, mobility training, which is for flexibility, recovery work, which will include like the hyper gun, foam rolling, and stretching,
Yeah.
and then some different exercises. A lot of conditioning work as well. So footwork drills, sprinting, and that's my physical training. Then comes the mental side of the game. So I practice a lot of yoga, meditation, and I read a lot of books on mental strength written by like Kobe Bryant's trainer and all the greats, how they trained, just to give myself that edge that I need on the court to stay mentally locked in. Because a big part of playing any sport is the mental side of things. Like, as you know, in cricket, in football, everyone can hit all the shots. Everyone is a super talented athlete. But I think what differentiates the good players from the greats and the best is the mental side of things.
mindset.
So, the mindset, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I definitely place a big emphasis on training the mental side of the game and being mentally strong. And then lastly comes the on-court training.
Yeah.
So I get on the pickleball court for about 90 minutes to 2 hours, 6 to 7 days a week. And that's a combination of different skills and drills that I practice, along with some practice games to get the in-game situations that I need. So that usually consists of my whole training routine.
And your coach is also from Global Sports?
So, funny thing in pickleball, unlike in other sports, because it's still a relatively new game compared to football or cricket or tennis, so you don't have that many coaches in the world right now. Granted, since pickleball's been big in the US for some time, you have a few great coaches in the US. However, in India, there's still a lack of high level coaches. And me being one of the top players in our country itself, I pretty much look after all my own coaching. And the way I do that is I study a lot of film and I study a lot of content on YouTube and Instagram of all the best players in the world. And then I go and train that with my training partner, trying to bring that into my own game.
Thanks for sharing your routine, Yuvi. So, my quick question on that is, how important is it for your partner or your doubles teammate to also follow the same, right? Are you in sync, or each tournament you have a different partner?
That's a great question. So I think the chemistry with your doubles partner is a huge part of how you play. And what that means is two players who are individually very strong could easily lose to two other players who are not as strong as them individually, but who make a good team. And what that comes to show is that chemistry plays such a big role in the game. And I usually rotate my partners around because I play all over the world. It's tough for somebody else to follow that schedule. Go to Australia one week, go to the US another week. So what I do is I keep it area dependent. So I have a men's doubles partner in the India area. I have a mixed doubles partner and men's doubles partner for Australia, and then so on and so forth for the US and the Europe area as well. So I definitely rotate around partners. And fortunately for my game, I'm a lefty, and that helps a lot with the chemistry and building good partnership. Because if you can picture a pickleball court or picture any court, you usually, if you have two righties, you have one person with their backhand in the middle of the court and one person with the forehand in the middle of court. So usually that leaves some weakness in the middle of the court, which is where most of the balls go. However, with me being a lefty, I play the right side of the court and I have my forehand in the middle, and my righty partner plays the left side of the court and they have their forehand in the middle. And that leads to a lot of strategic advantages. So me being a lefty, it makes it very easy for me to build chemistry with many partners all over the world, even if we haven't played much together. And I've definitely used that to my advantage. And that's one of my biggest selling points as a professional doubles pickleball player.
And because of your world exposure, right? And now the whole mission to bring this on grassroots level in India, especially in schools, and for parents to start pushing the sport for their children, do you think this is going to be as big as cricket in the near future in India?
So, as everyone knows, cricket is pretty much like religion in India. I mean, it's changed so many people's lives, and it's just the biggest thing ever. I don't think there'll be any other sport in the history of India to touch where cricket is. That being said, that doesn't mean that there is a massive potential for pickleball in India, not just from an amateur and having fun point of view,
Yeah.
but from a actually pursuing your career from a professional point of view. And let me just throw some numbers at you
Yeah.
to give the viewers a better idea. So the top pickleball players in the US, they're making anywhere from $4 to $5 million a year, all the way to $1 million a year. So somebody who's ranked number 1, number 2 is making $4 to $5 million. Someone who's ranked number 10, number 15 is making about $1 million. And then if you're ranked in the 30s or 40s, you're still making about $200 to $300,000 a year, which I would say is about
Lot of
one and a
money.
half to 2 crores.
Yeah.
And then comparing that with the numbers of India, and I really want the people to know that you can make a great career today playing professional pickleball in India. If you have the talent and you're going to be a top player in our country, you can make anywhere from 20 to 35 lakhs today in 2024. And with all the efforts that global sports is making to grow pickleball in India, I believe that in the future years, next year, people can be making 50 lakhs a year. In 2026, 80 lakhs a year. And those numbers are just going to keep going up with time. So it's definitely a good time for people if they're thinking they have good athletic abilities and they have good racket sports abilities. The biggest ones are the tennis professionals, people who are ranked 50 in the country, 60 in the country, 70 in the country. Tennis is a really grueling sport. So if you're not at the top of the top, you're not really making any money.
Yeah.
If those people transition over to pickleball, and we've seen it all over the world, they instantly get to the top of the game and their earning potential and competitive potential just goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, but apart from the money, I'm also seeing a lot of people getting a lot of recognition because I saw some 3 Indians winning gold medals in the Asia Open pickleball tournament lately.
Yep, that's right. So there was the Asia Pickleball Open in Thailand, I'd say a couple of weeks ago. And my fellow friends are Indians. They picked up 3 gold medals in men's doubles, mixed doubles, and men's singles. So huge achievement for them representing India on a really big scale. And that's the cool thing about playing a professional sport or playing professional pickleball, is that not only can you make good money doing it, but you're also representing your country and making your fellow Indians proud. And that's a priceless feeling. So, yep, definitely a lot of very high level pickleball players in India. To put things into perspective, the US is by far the number 1 country in pickleball, and I'd say they have about a 4 to 5 year advantage over any other country. However, after the US, India has the most talented pickleball players and is right at that number 2 spot when it comes to global talent in pickleball. So the Indians, especially the men's players, are stronger than the Australian players, the European players, the Asian players. I myself have competed with them on multiple tournaments, and the Indians fare pretty well, I'm proud to
That's
say.
great. And I think India needs that diversity in sports, right? Because so much of our resources gets concentrated and viewership as well gets concentrated on cricket and few other sports, where if you're saying that we have a predominant talent in this particular sport, then why don't we just like utilize it and why don't we just grow it like to our max potential?
Definitely, I think that's where the trend is going, with companies like Global Sports coming in, trying to revolutionize the game. And I think the timing is also pretty impeccable. So, India is set to host the 2036 Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. And there is a big push and effort from a lot of countries, including India, to make pickleball an Olympic sport at least by that time. It will take some time for for pickleball to become an Olympic sport, but I think all of us do see that happening. And the hope is that pickleball becomes an Olympic sport by 2036, because then that will give all our Indians a chance to kind of represent the country and do well in a new Olympic sport. And that's something we're really hoping for and looking forward to.
I think the trends are pointing to that direction 100%. Like looking at the growth rates of what's happening all over the world, if not just in India, I think that's around the horizon.
I think so too. It's only a matter of time. It's not about if it'll happen. The question is, when will it happen? When will pickleball become an Olympic sport? I just hope it happens sooner rather than later, so I can also take part and represent for India.
And if you want some support from the Indian ecosystem, whether it's the government or it's like different individuals participating more in this pickleball ecosystem, what would that be if you were to just put the word out?
So I think something that would be very helpful would just to get more access to infrastructure and get more access to land. So as you know, living in a city like Mumbai, the cost of real estate is just so expensive. And then to set up commercial sporting facilities becomes very tricky because the economics might not add up. So, if we could get like a grant or get easier access to pieces of land or pieces of infrastructure where we can host bigger tournaments, where we can set up more facilities to start, that would be a big way that the Indian government can help grow not only all sports, but pickleball definitely.
So, Yuvi, how big was the participation from the last pickleball tournament?
So the last pickleball tournament that Global Sports hosted was the Indian Open. We hosted it at the NSCI in Worli. We took over all 6 of their tennis courts and we created 20 pickleball courts. And the turnout was just fantastic. We had 800 participants, not
Wow.
just from India. We had 18 states playing it from India, and we had participants from all over the world. So Africa, all over Asia, China, Thailand, Vietnam, all states from the US, the UK, Europe, we had Spain, Italy. So literally global participation. And the cash prize for that tournament was 1 crore rupees spread across all the brackets. So big money to be made in these tournaments, high level players. So we had some top talent coming from all over the world, including Andre Diascu, who is a top 3 player in the world right now. So he flew down to participate in this tournament. And then, as I mentioned, just really big cash prize. And what's cool about the global sports tournaments is not only do you have the best talent playing in the tournaments, not only do you have big cash prize to be won, but we also create the vibe. So what that means is we have some music playing, we have food stalls. It's just a good time. Even if you're not playing in the tournament yourself, you can come hang out at the global sports tournaments, watch your friends play, meet new people, and then thanks to my partner Shashank Khaitan, he is a big Bollywood director and producer. So he's worked with all the greats like Alia Bhatt, Varun Dhawan, to name a few. And fortunately, with having him on board, he brings Karan Johar, Alia Bhatt, Varun Dhawan, Janvi Kapoor, to name a few. All these big time A-list celebrities always come and attend our tournaments, maybe even play an exhibition game, and just help us endorse the game of pickleball. At the Indian Open, we also had Sania Mirza and Rohan Bopanna, 2 of the legends of Indian tennis, come in and play some exhibition pickleball. So we really focus on creating the vibe as well.
That's great, man. There's a lot of effort, I'm sure, on the back end, like to organize all these things together.
Definitely. To be honest, when it comes to the celebrities, I wouldn't know much about that. That's Shashank's department, and he always delivers. So thank you, Shashank, for everything you do for global sports. And it definitely makes a huge difference because it helps with the social media and the marketing and the media. It's much easier for our tournaments to get published in the newspapers and any magazine articles with having so much Bollywood star power attending the events and endorsing pickleball.
Prime example is IPL, right? With their celeb-owned teams, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And Global Sports, I'm proud to say that we are doing a joint venture with the PPA Tour and Major League Pickleball, which is what I spoke about earlier. So what that means is the PPA Tour, it's more like the ATP Tour in tennis. So people travel around the world earning different points and getting their ranking. And we are setting up, that ecosystem is very big in the US. That's where all the best players in the world are playing. And we are bringing that same tour to India. So the Indian Open, it's going to become like one of the grand slams of the World Pickleball Tour. And within that, we will have our own Indian Pickleball Tour, which is branded at the PPA, which is the Global Pickleball Tour. So that's exciting. And then the MLP India is basically the IPL for pickleball that we will be doing in India. And we are copying the IPL format in many ways. So what that means is we will be selling teams, and we're looking to get some of the biggest corporates in the country and the biggest celebrities in the country to be part of the ownership team and to help promote the league. So stay tuned, guys, because in 2025 we will be having the IPL for pickleball in India, and I think that's just going to be a lot of fun for all the players and all the viewers as well.
100%. And I think for the viewers and for the players as well, because you're collaborating with these established organizations, they can be a lot of exchange of players from those leagues over here, right?
Absolutely, that's part of the plan. I think so. There are multiple pickleball leagues trying to be launched in India,
Yeah.
but why I believe that the Global Sports Major League Pickleball League is going to be the winner. One is because I'm the investor in the company and I'm the man making it happen. So I'm very confident in our abilities. But more importantly, with us having tied up with the US franchise and the Global Pickleball League franchise, which is Major League Pickleball, that just helps us bring in all the top talent, even bring in some of big investors, some global investors, and the brand recognition is definitely the strongest with our league. So really looking forward to that in 2025.
Amazing. So, what's the future plan and future tournaments in pickleball that you guys are organizing?
So, perfect timing for that question. We have a big one coming up, and I'm talking about the Monsoon Pickleball Championship Season 2, which will be hosted in Mumbai itself in Andheri, August 21st to 25th. Again, we're giving out about 1 crore cash prize. We have a lot of top talent flying in from all over the world. And the unique selling point about the Monsoon Pickleball Championship is it's all indoors and it's air conditioned. So even though it's in August where you pretty much can't play any pickleball since most of the courts are outdoors,
Yeah.
we are hosting a state-of-the-art indoor pickleball tournament, temperature control, food and drinks, music, celebrities, fun, top pickleball competition. So please come and check it out. It's going to be in Mumbai, August 21st to 25th, and we're going to be having a lot of fun. So I hope to see all of y'all there. It doesn't matter if you don't play pickleball or you don't want to play in the tournament. Just come out there, meet some new people, and have some fun watching the top players in the world play some pickleball.
Are you participating as well?
So, funny thing, I play almost every tournament that there is. However, I don't take part in my own tournaments because I'm part of the organizing team, and also even better than the pickleball player that I am, I'm a phenomenal commentator. So I love getting in the booth, giving the analysis and strategy of what's happening on court. So that's definitely going to be taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, like every time you play a tournament, like it can go any which way, right? Especially when you're playing with the best in the world. You win some and you lose some. But with me having hosted the tournament, I'm already a winner for that weekend. So I'm going to keep it at that, you know what I mean? And just enjoy seeing everybody else there, having a good time. Make sure that everybody's taken care of. So I usually will just take part in one event, maybe the team event, to have fun with everyone at my own tournament. But I save up my energy to make sure that the tournament goes as well as it's supposed to.
Nice. And what size are you seeing in the participation already?
So right
Thousands?
now we already have about 400 to 500 participants signed up, and we expect this to be similar to the Indian Open, where we would have between 700 to 800 participants come
Nice.
tournament time. So it's definitely a big one. The cash prize is no joke. We're offering up 1 crore in cash prize spread across all brackets. We have a lot of people flying in from, again, Australia, Europe, UK, Asia, US, among other countries. They'll all
And
be
what's the
flying down.
entry fee like per team?
So the entry fee for the pro bracket is about 3,000 rupees.
Okay.
So 1,500 rupees per
person.
player. And then for the amateur brackets, it's cheaper because there's no money involved. You can't win money in the amateur brackets. So it's about 1,500 to 2,000 rupees, if I'm not mistaken, per team.
And that lets them play how many games?
And you're guaranteed, so we do it like group stages,
Okay.
where you're guaranteed to play X amount of games. I think you get to play either 3 or 4 games in the group stages, and then you go into the knockout stages, which is usually the quarterfinals. And then if you lose, you get knocked out. So even if you end up coming and losing all your games at the tournament, you're still guaranteed about 3 or 4 games of some fun pickleball.
Got it. And where do people sign up for this?
That's a great question. So to sign up for the tournament, currently we are using the Huddle app, which is a sports aggregator app that you can use on your phone. However, we are also getting onto pickleball brackets, which is the biggest pickleball software and algorithm used all over the world for all global tournaments. So we are in the process of getting our tournament onto pickleball brackets. But for now, you can use the Huddle app to sign up for the Monsoon Pickleball Championship.
August.
August 21st to 25th, season 2. It's going to be bigger and better than ever. Last year, we had Janvi Kapoor, Varun Dhawan, Arjun Kapoor, Mooney Roy, Karan Johar playing some pickleball themselves and having a good time. So we expect to go even bigger this year.
Yuvi, tell me something. The cash prize is 1 crore. It
Yep.
gets split amongst couple of players, right?
That's right.
You've experienced this yourself.
Yes.
When you won a tournament,
Yes.
right? What was the feeling like when you won a tournament? You got that paycheck, right? And what was the first thing that you bought yourself from that paycheck?
That's a great question. So let me just tell all you guys that the feeling of winning a tournament after all that effort you put in and you end up on top of that podium, you've played your best, you've beaten all the competition. It is the best experience I have ever felt in this world. I mean, nothing even gets close to the feeling of when you grind out a big professional tournament, you've beaten the best of the best, you end up on top, and when they hand you that gold medal, when they hand you that paycheck, and just that feeling of winning, there's no better feeling of winning. And that is my biggest motivator for playing professional pickleball, because the high that I felt, it's not comparable to like any other experience or person that someone can give you. Like, it's just not possible. So that feeling of winning is absolutely up there. And yeah, so when I got my paycheck and stuff, I was so hyped up. I remember I was in Bali with my best friend. He came out there to support me, and we went straight to get a nice A5 Wagyu steak dinner, which is one of my favorite things. Guys, I was not in India. Obviously, you cannot eat beef in Bombay, but I was in Bali, so it was totally legal and stuff. And yeah, just ate a nice A5 Japanese Wagyu steak and some fried rice with my best friend, and called it a night.
But I don't even think you did it for the money, because like that feeling when you were describing like this whole feeling of winning the tournament, it's more for that I did it feeling. Like more than like chasing, okay, finally I got this paycheck. It's like I did it. It was my effort. Like money didn't buy this thing. I could not pay someone to like, win this match for me. Like I had to do it myself, regardless of like how much money you may have or may not have. You still have to put in the grind.
Definitely, at least for me, more rewarding than the paycheck and the money, because as I mentioned, like the money is good, but it's not life-changing money as yet. I think that will change with time to come. But that feeling you get of the joy and the ecstasy of winning and placing on top, it's absolutely priceless. And as I mentioned, I've never experienced anything like that. And you keep wanting more. Once you get a taste of that, once you win one tournament, it's not like, oh yeah, I've won now, I'm chilling, I'm good. Because you feel that, and then of course it goes away over time. And it's like drugs, honestly, or something really addictive. You're like, oh, I need more of that. I need more of that. Like, I want to get a taste of that again. And that's what just keeps pushing you to kind of achieve that excellence time and time again.
And plus, you're at the start of your career, right? So
Exactly.
you have such a long way to go ahead. And
Well said. Absolutely. I think we're also aspirational to keep pushing the limits and to keep seeing what's possible, like which players we can beat out there, what top talent can we beat, and what tournaments can we kind of win. So it's a never-ending journey.
Talking about your, career ahead, what is the dream like? What is in your mind that you want to give back to the sport and get it in reality?
Absolutely. So definitely want to keep continuing to grow the game all over India. So we have about 40 to 50 courts right now all over the Mumbai area. And those courts are doing pretty well. They're busy for most of the time. But I'd love to see like more of our fellow Indians really getting into the game, playing the game themselves, maybe like watching some of the game and just participating and being more part of the pickleball community. I think the thing that global sports and me personally, I am most passionate about is to really create and grow the pickleball community, mainly because of how much pickleball has changed my life. Like, I was a completely different person before I found pickleball. I wasn't as health conscious. I wasn't as motivated in life to like kind of go out there and achieve greatness. and the kind of people I've met along the way. I mean, I remember I moved from Boston to Dallas, Texas, my partner and I, and we didn't know anybody over there. But just through playing pickleball, we made about 50 to 60 friends in just a few weeks' time. And these are friendships that are going to last a lifetime for me. And it's been the same story in almost any country I've gone to. You know, with MLP Australia, made some amazing mates there, friendships that are going to last a lifetime. When I go to China, so just the way you're able to connect with people and the amount of joy it brings me to step on court, I really want other people to experience that. And that's what my biggest passion and motivation is.
Great.
Beautiful.
And any exciting new dream ventures that you are, actively pursuing?
Yeah, so speaking about my dreams in pickleball,
Yeah.
apart from, or it's kind of connected to really growing the game and growing the community, I'm working on this brand called Pickle Chill. And basically, what that is it's premium indoor pickleball facilities. So, of course, it'll be temperature controlled, so it'll be much cooler than it is outside. Good lighting, a nice indoor venue, so no sun, no wind obstructing your pickleball play, along with a sports bar. So you have good food, like cafe kind of food, like avocado toast, eggs, some pasta and stuff like that, some nice juices and smoothies, refreshing drinks, along with the sports bar. So you get your beer, your wine, your alcohol. We'll have big screens over there showing you like the IPL games, the Wimbledon games, any big sporting event happening, the football games, some showers, a locker room. So just like a premium indoor pickleball club where people can come play the game, but also like hang out with friends and family and just have a good time. So one thing I've noticed is that everyone gets together to play tennis or football or pickleball or badminton, and then you obviously have to go home and shower because you get sweaty and it's so hot and humid all over India. And then usually you end up meeting those same friends 2 hours later. After you freshened up, you might meet them at their house or at a restaurant, at a bar or something like that. So I'm like, you know what, let me just make everyone's life easier. Anyways, everyone loves to like play a sport, then have a shower, and then get some food and drinks and maybe watch the IPL game or just hang out and listen to some music. So my focus is Pickle and Chill is to create a venue where we put all of that together so people can like play some pickleball, meet new people, and have a good time, eat some good food, have some drinks, and just enjoy.
Sounds like a great idea, honestly.
Pickle and chill. Yeah,
Has
exactly.
this been already executed in the West?
So, oh yeah, exactly. That's where I got the idea from.
Yeah.
This model is already in the West, and honestly, it's one of the most successful models in pickleball.
Okay.
If you think about it, with any sport, you cannot really make too much profit or make too much revenue just by renting out a court. Like in the US, you can charge $20 all the way up to $60 per hour, where you can make good money, but it's there's a limit to how scalable that is. However, when you throw the F&B business on there, especially when we're talking about alcohol sales, that's the really big revenue generator, and the sky's the limit. You know, we all know how much our Indians love to drink, right? So that's where really there's a lot of money to be made, and just from a business point of view, it makes a lot of sense if executed the right way. The only barrier I'm facing in Mumbai right now is the cost of real estate. As you all know, it's so expensive to acquire land or even to rent land all over Mumbai. So Pickle and Chill is on hold right now for Mumbai, but our first venue will be coming up in Ahmedabad. So there'll be no boozing in Ahmedabad. It's a dry state, but a lot of pickleball to be played and good times to be had at Pickle and Chill.
So UV, like I'm seeing, like there's a lot of heat between pickleball and tennis, right? Are a lot of tennis players getting upset with the rise in pickleball, like, or what's happening?
There's definitely some beef between tennis and pickle. So in the US, there have been some stories of vandalism.
Really?
Of people going and spray painting and damaging pickleball courts. And a lot of the time, it is like the tennis community, because what happens is that a lot of existing tennis venues are being converted either into multi-purpose courts where people are playing tennis or pickleball on them, or they're outright being converted into pickleball courts. And with the rise of dominance in pickleball, it's definitely been taking away from the limelight of tennis when it comes to infrastructure and facilities to play, but when it also comes to talent. I mean, we have players like Jack Sock and Jeannie Bouchard who have transitioned from the highest level of tennis to pickleball and kind of bringing all that limelight into pickle as well. So there's definitely been some backlash from the tennis community, and it shows in these acts of vandalism and maybe some social media posts and everything. However, that being said, I think that things are changing for the better. And a fantastic example we have, like which is currently taking place, is that the Roland Garros, or the French Open of 2024, one of the Grand Slams for tennis, they will be having exhibition pickleball courts at their venue.
wow.
Yeah, at the French Open.
So they've accepted it,
They
yeah.
accepted it. They're going to have tennis courts over, pickleball courts at the French Open, and that will kind of highlight and showcase and promote pickleball, but also showcase kind of the camaraderie that will be taking place between tennis and pickleball, which is so great to see.
But this is huge.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all of us, the pickleball community is rejoicing over this, because I think everyone knows like what a big deal all the 4 Grand Slams are, and the French Open being so cool, being on clay and offering so much. So to kind of have pickleball being showcased there is a big thing. It's a big thing for pickle.
Thanks for sharing that. I didn't even know that the two communities are now collaborating. The best part is, for a person like me who's not coached tennis, I can get on a court at pickleball and start playing.
Yeah.
Right, with my friends, and it's so nice to bond with your friends and get both the fitness bit, social bit.
You know, this happened with my wife as well. Like, my wife basically didn't play any sports, and she was not interested more like to play any sport as well. But one day I just forced her to just come with me and play pickleball with a few friends. And she loved it so much that she started taking classes. And now she's religiously taking pickleball lessons. And without even me, like she's just doing her thing, going, taking lessons, making her own plans with her friends, playing pickleball, coming back, having a great time, which makes me so happy because one, it's for her fitness levels to like rise. And second thing, like she's the confidence that she's getting in herself to that she can play a sport. This was like uncharted territory for her. Like sports in general was an uncharted territory. She didn't feel that she could play any sport. And now she's taking lessons, making her own plans, which is great, right?
That's so awesome to hear. It sounds like she's got the pickle bug, which a lot of us have, and it's a good thing. Catching the pickle bug is definitely a great thing. And as you mentioned, yeah, pickleball, like unlike other sports, like if we're talking about cricket, football, tennis, badminton, squash, to name a few, there's a little bit more technical training needed. And for games like cricket and football, you need to be very athletic as well.
Yeah.
You need a lot of speed, you need some strength. So, not everybody can have that or can do that on court. However, with pickleball, since the paddle is lighter, the ball is lighter, and it's mainly played as doubles, so you don't need to have a very strong athletic background or a racket sports background. And it's perfect for those kinds of people, who might not have the confidence in themselves, who haven't played other sports. Pickleball is the perfect game to just get out there, pick up the paddle. You don't need much training, and you can just go slap the ball around and have a good time with friends. And then the fitness component that Harsh mentioned, like if people are out there looking for a fun way to stay fitter, pickleball does so much in terms of weight management. So just from a 60-minute to 90-minute pickleball session, you can burn all the way up to 1,000 calories. And I think that just offers a much more fun way of staying healthier and fitter. I know for me, I do go to the gym because of playing professionally. However, it's kind of boring, it's monotonous, just lifting weights or doing repetitive exercises. I'm usually by myself or with my trainer. It's not that much fun. I'm kind of doing it because I have to do it.
Yeah.
But with pickle, you're having the time of your life out there. You're usually with friends or you're meeting new people. It's competitive. A lot of people like love to win. I know I do. So if you're one of those people and you're
It's
always trying
mentally
to win,
stimulating.
it's really mentally stimulating. And then because it's a game, there's so many nuances to it. And at the end of the day, you are burning calories and losing weight as well. So it's just a really fun way to take your fitness to the next level and to take better care of your health.
And I feel people who like to lift weights as well, like they could probably lift weights, and instead of running on a treadmill, they can just play a session of
absolutely.
pickleball
Yeah.
and burn more calories.
Exactly. It's a great cardio session, honestly. It'll definitely get your heart rate up. So definitely a lot of health benefits of playing pickleball. And actually, there is a study by Dr. Amen. He is a psychologist and a psychiatrist. And there is a study that proves that people who play racket sports, so pickleball comes right under that, they tend to live 10 to 15 years longer.
Really?
So it's actually proven through scientific study that pickleball or racket sports
Wow.
increases a human being's lifespan,
Okay.
which is huge.
Amazing.
I think because people tend to play it for a longer duration, especially pickleball. Like even when you're a 50-year-old man or a woman, you can still actively play pickleball, and that just keeps you healthier in the long run. Right?
Absolutely. And then I think the research also said something about playing racket sports leads to certain neurological pathways connecting in your brain. And then that also leads to the increase in lifespan.
Because it's not just brute force. Like you have to be very tactical about it.
Absolutely. There's a big touch and strategic element.
Yeah, the spins.
The spin and a lot goes into it in playing a racket sport.
So Yuvraj, great stuff. Honestly, like I'm so happy that there are people like you out there who are not just like promoting the sport, but also like walking the talk and showing how it's done, whether being out there professionally or being there on social media promoting and talking about it, or actually being on ground and organizing tournaments. So honestly, great stuff.
Appreciate it, man.
So
Thank
happy
you.
that
Thanks,
happy
guys.
that we could do this, honestly. And any like ending on an ending note, anything you want to tell the audience?
I really encourage you all to get on the pickleball court. It's honestly changed my life. Seeing the growth of the game in the US, they have about 20 million players now and about 20,000 pickleball courts. And it really shows in how much joy and happiness all those people are experiencing. That's the main reason I moved back to India from the US, is to bring that experience and joy to all our fellow Indians. So I really look forward to seeing you guys on the pickleball courts.